right. Welcome back to another episode of the Mastery Movement Podcast. I am your host, Darren Kelley Jr., and today we have my brother from across the globe, Omar Dean, here as a guest, and I'm honored to have him come and speak and converse with me. Um, I met Omar through a mutual friend of ours, and we've been kicking it ever since, man. We've been chopping it up and and just having really deep conversations. And so yeah, man. Laban Ditchburn is who introduced us. I met him when I was living in Medellin, Colombia, and yeah, man. Omar, welcome. Introduce yourself. Say, let the audience know a few things about yourself, what you're about, and then we'll hop right into this thing, man.
Blessed to be here, brother. And you were so easy to get along with. We vibed off straight away. Um, you're on the same mission as me. Trying to make big impact in this world, trying to live to your fullest potential. I believe like you're a qualitarian like me, which is we don't allow anything into our life or our circle that isn't of quality, and that could be the food, the thoughts, the people. And that's I found you're about, and that's what I'm about, man. And we just vibed off, bro.
Absolutely. Qualitarian. That is fire. I love that. I love that, man. Okay. So Omar, man, I just want to jump straight into it and talk about purpose because, excuse me, I'm actually a little bit under the weather. But purpose is something that you and I have talked about a lot, and it's something that I feel like is really important in every man's life. And I think if most men can be honest with ourselves, many of us don't know what our purpose is, and many of us might even struggle to try and find that. And I feel like you're in a position in your life where you have found that, you're clear on what that is, and you're making the proper steps into living and walking through that. So, what is purpose to you? And talk to me about how you took the proper steps to finding purpose, to walking in purpose in your life.
Yeah, I love this question. Um, I think the way I see it is your purpose will get you through any situation in life. You know, there's going to be good times, bad times, and if you got your purpose, that's your source of energy, your fuel to get you through anything. And you know if someone's living a good life just by asking them, "What is your purpose?" followed by a couple whys.
Hmm.
So if you ask me what my purpose is, I can, with full conviction, tell you what it is. So I'd be like, to be the fullest and best version of myself. Why? To help others become the fullest and best version of themselves. Why? Because life is fucking beautiful, brother. Why? Because everything is as it should be, like, so if you just ask someone their purpose, followed by a couple of whys, you automatically know if they're living a good, fulfilling life.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. And what would you say to somebody who wants to seek purpose and they know that they have a bigger purpose and they know that maybe their life isn't where they want it to be, but they can't pinpoint the why. Like like they just have this feeling, but they don't know what's on the other side of that feeling. They just can kind of sense it, but they can't tell you why. And that, I feel like for a lot of men, that can be an agonizing place to be in life when you feel like haunted by this deeper essence, this deeper feeling of like, damn, like I know there's got to be more to life. I know I'm meant to do more. I know I'm bigger than this, but I don't know the proper steps to take. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't even know how to start. I just know that I need to go.
Yeah. See, I think it's tough to say because, in this time, in this day and age, you do need, like, money plays a big factor, and it will take, you know, um, a lot of bandwidth of your life. But what I'm trying to get at is you need to do what you love. Why is that? Because you're when you're doing what you love, you're getting paid to live your life. You're not getting paid to work. You know, like me, like I've transitioned into becoming a coach. So by working on myself, I'm working on my business. That's crazy because I love working on myself. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's and and yeah, man, like it's it's not selfish to think that, like from my perspective anyway, because if you know, my family will get my best when I'm at my best. So
Yeah.
I think it comes back to just doing what you love, and then where does that tie into your life?
Hmm. I like that. So, do you think, in essence, no matter if it's an, do you think that everybody who does what they love should by default kind of be an entrepreneur, or do you think even that can consist within like a 9 to 5 job? Because I feel like there's a pressure with people like, oh, do I want to work a job or do I want to start a business? Do you think if you're doing what you truly love, that probably is going to result into some form of entrepreneurship? Or do you think somebody who might feel like I don't know what my purpose is can find that purpose, that sense of money and income and that sense of stability through their job, like whatever that job could be?
Um, I think it's about becoming a man of value. So it doesn't matter what you do in life, are you a man of value?
Mm.
Because you know you can't trick anyone or the universe or any boss. You can't like what you truly believe is what the universe is gonna project outwardly. Um, so I think it's about just becoming valuable in the marketplace. But
Yeah.
you have to truly believe it. That's what like I'll tell you a story of like I was at a party once and there was this young guy and we're just vibing off. I was dressed nice and he asked me what I do. I told him I've got a few businesses, this that. He thought I was rich, like super rich, and he asked me what's your net worth, and I looked at him dead in the eye and I said, I believe I'm the richest man on earth. And the guy was so shook because he saw that I actually believed that in that moment, that he believed it also.
You said he believed that as well about himself or about you.
He believed it about me because I believed it about me to the core.
Ah, I like that. I like that. So it sounds like you have an abundant mindset. It sounds like you've curated this sense of mind that is very stoic and abundant, and I feel like that is another trait within men that is fleeting, and a lot of men are suffering from that. So, like, talk about the power of the mind, the power of the thoughts. Like, how how does an ordinary guy cultivate a stoic mindset? How does an ordinary person cultivate like a bulletproof mindset, even if it's almost delusional? It is as long as it gets them their result that they want in their life. Like, how have you gotten that? How have you gotten to the point where you believe you're the richest man on earth, and you actually believe that, and other people can sense that from you?
Repetition till it becomes your truth, you know, almost to the stage of being delusional.
Hmm.
It's, you conquer your mind, brother, you're going to conquer anything in life because that's the hardest enemy you will ever face. Uh, I actually heard this story once. It's about I don't know if you would have heard this. It's about a monk. No, this man wanted to become a monk, And this guy was very negative, had no self-love, self-belief. He was just always thinking negative thoughts. And he came up to this other monk and he said, I want to become a monk. And the monk gave him these positive words and he gave him this dirty basket. And he said, go to the river and fill up this dirty basket. So day by day, this man was filling up this basket, but the water would drip out, come back weeks on end. And he just kept trying to fill this basket and it just wouldn't fill up. And then one day the man came back, but he just seemed different. Had a different aura to him, and but there still wasn't any water in the basket. And the monk said, "No, but the basket is now clean, and so are your thoughts." So that just shows you it's the repetition of doing it till you truly believe it.
Hmm. So to me, that kind of sounds that just ties into the overall subject of discipline, which I feel like is a cliche term. It's like a religious term now. It's like discipline, discipline, discipline. It's so it's so common that it's it's ignored. It's like I said, it's almost like religion. Like you can if you follow any religious doctrine, it probably will make your life better. But it's so common and so like thrown in your face that people seem to forget that. So it's like, what is that the essence of discipline to you? It's just repetition, regardless of how you feel, regardless
Yeah,
of, just do what needs to be done.
it's
Repeat.
it's it. Yeah, it's a belief embedded into your soul, brother. Like, people want results and this and that, and it just shows that no one wants to put in the work, no one wants to put the discipline forward to get that result. We want microwave results, brother. Like, instead of doing things the hard way, the long way. Like, I I didn't get to this mindset or this level of discipline without putting in the work. Like, people want results in like 3 months, 6 months, brother. Like, for 6 years, I went like all in. Like, before I even got like I went 6 years celibate. I went 6 years no social media. Like, even if I saw a pretty woman, I would lower my gaze. That's the level of discipline I got to for a certain period and season in my life. How many guys are willing to do that?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt. I was saying, I just said, wow, that's incredible, bro. 6 years.
Yeah, man. Like, nothing, nothing worthy comes easy.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's hit on that a little more. Um, 6 years. So you're currently 33, correct?
Yeah.
So what age were you when you started this 6 year monk mode, if you will? This like self transformative process. Who were you before that phase that made you want to go into that phase? And what happened to you in that phase that forged you into who you are today? Like what what did you get tired of? What did you get fed up with? What made you be abstinent? What made you flip that switch?
I had, look, many of us have tough upbringings. I'm not comparing my story to anyone, but I was doing the wrong things for a long period of time. I started young, man. Like, 15 years old, I was in strip clubs, holding my friend's gun, um, like rolling people, like a lot of bad shit. That, one, I regret, but two, it made me who I am today. And but even when we done these things, man, I knew deep down like this wasn't who I am. Like, you know, when we were rolling people and stuff, like I'd open the wallet and like give them back their license and like some cards just because I felt bad, bro, because I knew this wasn't who I am.
Yeah.
And then I had a few close to death experiences, which like really shook me. Um, One being like a gun put to my face, and like that was the first time in my life, like all ego was stripped aside. I felt truly naked to the soul, and I just saw who I truly was. And in that same week, I actually had a dream about this because I was, really into. I'm still into women, but just my wife now. But there was this female that I was talking to at the time who was very pretty, but I had a dream that I saw, black smoke come out of her mouth, and it was like I could see beyond the looks, beyond beyond outer beauty. I could see inner beauty. And I was like, wow, like what am I chasing here? You know, in this, I was looking at things so superficially. So all this happened at once, and then I just went, that's it, no more, nothing. I changed my phone number. I went overseas, and I just went head down monk mode. And that was, for a period of 6 years.
Wow. And during that 6 years, did you waver? Did you falter? Did you stumble? Like, was it a clean streak, or was it like, did you slip up here and there and have sex, or did you and then realign back into your mold? Did you slip up, like, was during that 6 years, was it like a clean slate, or did you have slip ups in that phase?
Um, I mean, no one's perfect, brother. So I was slipping, but not like very minor stuff. Like a slip up with me during that period would be like I looked twice at that female. You know what I mean? That kind of slip up. But like, dude, like I wouldn't even when I say like I wasn't even having sex, bro. I wouldn't even like no wanking, nothing, bro. Like I got to a stage where it was like, yeah, it was full on.
Bro, bro, that's really impressive, man. So you was pretty backed up for about 6 years then.
Yeah, bro.
Man, bro, that's really impressive. Um, what is your thoughts on extremity and moderation? For instance, the longest I've ever been without ejaculating was 75 days. And that's because once I got to 75 days, I honestly felt like, what am I doing this for? Like, I I don't know if I did it to prove to myself that I could discipline myself, or if I was just doing it for like vanity, to say like, oh, I can do this, but you can't. I got to a point where I didn't know why I was doing it, and so I stopped doing it. Same thing with I just completed a year of abstinence, which is something I've never done in my life. Like yourself, I lost my virginity when I was 12, bro. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So, like,
You you beat me by 1 year, bro.
say it again.
You beat me by 1 year.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like, bro, and so when you start living life so fast, so early, it becomes a habit. And so that's why, I'm never gonna preach like, you know, um, be perfect, be a monk, don't have sex or whatever, because it's, we're men. But I do think that every man tr- should test the limits to see where his weaknesses lie within his sexual restraint. and press those buttons. So like where does being too extreme to you meet like I need to press the issue. Like I need to discipline myself. Do you think that 6 years was completely necessary for you? Do you think it's completely necessary for other men, or was that just something that you decided you wanted to do because maybe you had like a whole lot of unfucking of yourself to do, and it required 6 years to do that?
Yeah, I look at it like, the slingshot, like, as in, the further you pull back, the further forward you're going to go. So
Mm,
I knew by putting in as much work as I possibly could, it'd make me believe that I'm the most disciplined man on earth.
mm,
And like, this was a big part of my life. Like, I know guys like women, but like, man, I was obsessed to the stage where had like, you know, six tens, as my pretty much girlfriends, bro.
mhm.
And it was a big part of my life growing up early. So like, I had to do that extra work just because how much of my life it consumed, how much it meant to me in that time, in that season.
Yeah, I love that slingshot. I love that analogy. I love that. Um, so you're into bodybuilding. You're a bodybuilder. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're preparing for you're a professional bodybuilder, and if you're not, you're preparing for a professional bodybuilding show. How does the body lead to mastery in other areas of your life? I think we have that in similarity right now. I am bodybuilding myself. It's the first time I've ever done it, and I can feel me making minor shifts, but I got to stick it through. So, in your perspective, how how does the body lead to mastery in finances, in love, in the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think, look, the gym is it's a sacred place, brother, because it's real therapy. You will never go into the gym with a bad mindset and leave with that same mindset. You never go pissed off and leave pissed off. Will you always leave off better than what you came in. And I learned, just early how much it changed my life into, delayed gratification, um, you know, self love. I started caring about what I'm putting into my body, how I, present myself. I wanted to be, the best version of myself. And I got a taste of what it was like to thrive. And, once you feel that, it's like, why would you settle for anything less?
Yeah.
And, and I'm not a professional bodybuilder yet. um, but I had a vision that, because one of my coaches was on stage, and I took my daughter there, and I saw her clapping and she loved it, and I had a vision like my daughter just cheering me on, and I'm like, this is something I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm competing next year in April,
Hmm.
and depending on how we go, then possibly get my pro card. But it's in a pretty uh, high league, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna bring my best package I possibly can.
Oh yeah, man. So so while we're on the topic of that, um, I'm bodybuilding too. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot. Like, but I know the one thing that you always tell me, because I'll post like Instagram videos and you'll like critique me like, "Hey, bro, go slower. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to get that mind muscle connection. To somebody who's just starting off bodybuilding, what's the importance of full range of motion, half reps? Like, is there a place in the gym for a halfie? Is there, and then like high weight versus low weight? Because obviously you want time or detention, but you also want full range of motion. But lowering the weight will give you that, will give you both of them, but you won't grow without the weight. So like, what's your analysis of like slow and controlled, but progressive overload without trying to like ego lift? Like what's the methodology to kind of finding that middle ground?
Yeah. Well, there's a big difference between bodybuilding and or powerlifting. So we're not just throwing the weight around or pushing the weight. It's like where the mind goes, energy flows. So you really want to concentrate on that muscle mind connection
Hmm.
and feel the contraction. Like let's say you're doing your back. So many people would, if you're thinking of something else, not concentrating on your back, you're automatically going to activate your bicep. And you're probably taking most of the load with your bicep because you're not concentrating on like pulling with your elbow, pretending there's a rope pulling your elbow, so you can just really feel that contraction into your back. Uh, that's one thing I would say. And another thing is, no one's like, if your mind's not with it, like you're thinking of other stuff, you're not going to be training with that intensity. You always want to be the hardest guy, the guy working the hardest in there. Like when I'm in there, I want to make sure I'm sweating more than anyone, I'm louder than anyone. Like, we go to the gym these days, and people just trying to like lightly move things around. Like, what about thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago? Like, these ancient Greeks and stuff. You reckon they were being quiet and like chilling and just moving lightweight around? You know what I mean? Like, you got to train with intensity. Like, if my life depended on it to get one more rep out, I probably couldn't get one more rep out. Like, that's the level of intensity you need.
Okay. And is that intensity, should you meet that intensity at the weight, you can do it with the cleanest form only, or because that's something that I'm just kind of trying to work through, and I know maybe some other people that might listen or that may not know the difference. When you're trying to bodybuild, you're trying to build the most in-depth mind muscle connection. So you you want to lift a weight that you can lift with perfect form. If you it, What about when you're getting to those failure reps? What about when you're getting into, you know, when the form gets compromised on a pull, um,
Look,
or any?
I think it's exercise dependent. Like certain exercises, yes, certain exercises, no. Like if you're doing, uh, you know, a 200 kilo squat, you don't want to do a partial rep because you're going to hurt yourself. If you're doing, some a bench and you don't want to do a partial rep with that either. Do you know what I mean? But if you're doing like side lateral raises or something, there is benefit to some partial reps. It's a small muscle. You're not really going to hurt yourself. So there would be benefit there, but majority of the time you do want perfect form.
Okay, so lower the weight and get the range of motion, and let that mind muscle connection carry you to your next weight overload. Don't just fucking put weight on there and start throwing it around because you feel like it's gonna make your muscles bigger.
That's it. And look, most of the time I'd say try and fail between 8 and 12 reps, unless you're in like a bulking season and you want to just put on increase your strength. Over that period you've got a lot of carbs in your system, and you're just trying to get stronger, build strength, build size. But for hypertrophy training, and wanting to look good, 8 to 12 reps is the perfect place to fail.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of bulking, um, when you're in a bulking phase, what's your thoughts on cheat days and bulking? Because you're bulking. What about a burger? I know during cutting is extremely disciplined because it's finite. But when you're bulking, what's your diet like? What's your thoughts on cheat meals during a bulk phase?
Hmm. See, I have a different relationship with food now, and it took time to get here, but I look at it more of what it can do for me, not what it is.
Hmm.
Um, so, every time I've ever had that cheat meal, I always regret it later. So, like, it's like, what's the point of doing that? There's never once a time where I didn't regret it. And, I'm sure, there's moments and times in your life where you do need to eat something. Let's say you're on a date and it's your anniversary. You'll eat things, but you can prepare for it. Like if I'm going for dinner now, I'll make sure I ate less in the morning, or at lunchtime, so I can kind of cater to those macronutrients to fit within my diet. And with cheat meals, like with my meals now, everything I eat on prep, or when I'm cutting, when I'm bulking, is what I want to eat. If I'm to go out to a restaurant or a cafe, it's the same food. I'm eating what I love. Like I'm not just eating plain chicken and rice. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everything I eat is of flavor, is of quality, and fits my macronutrients. So I'm not missing out. So I don't need to cheat.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Um, getting. Let's touch on macros quick. How do you go about measuring your macros, and can you actually get an accurate track of macros? Um, I find myself struggling with that sometimes, um, because it's time consuming. It takes me about 3 hours, 3.5 hours to meal prep for the week on Sundays, which I really hate. And I would love to get to the point where I love to cook, but I just think I could spend that 3 hours doing something else on a Sunday, or reading, or taking a walk, or like I could be doing anything else. I could be doing something else, making music. There's a lot of shit I could be doing, but I
Mm,
dedicate this like 2.5 to 3.5 hours every Sunday because like I just got back from vacation, and so now I'm in like a hard reset of my schedule, and so I didn't get to meal prep Sunday. So now I've eaten out a couple of times this week. My meal prep's down. I'm just kind of like, I don't like this. I just feel so like ready to go and prepared for my week when I have all my meals prepped. But tracking the macros is sometimes I feel like, what's the point? Not what's the point, but it's like, is this even accurate? Or like, why don't I just eat? Like, how do you track your macros in a way where it's not like ripping your hair out? Because I feel like it can be a whole nother job by itself. Like, is it by the weight? Is it by like, do you actually weigh out each gram of each food, and how long does that take you to do? Like, what's your process of meal prepping and getting your macros where they need to be?
yeah. Look, it doesn't take me 3 hours. That's pretty long, bro. Um, but like, you gotta cook. You gotta weigh everything in raw weight firstly. So your chicken. So let's say I weigh a kilo of chicken breast. Then I'll divide that into 4 meals. So 250 each. That's it. But like I'll cook a bunch of chicken at once. I'll cook 1 kilo, put it in a container. Then let's say, and then I'll just divide that. I don't do it into each separate Tupperware. Do you know what I mean? So then it's just
This
easier.
Okay, so rewind that one more time just in case. So if you know you have, if you're trying to eat, you're in Australia, correct?
Yeah.
So we do things by like pounds and grams and ounces and everything. So I'm not familiar with the kilos as
I
much. Um, so let's just
think,
say, are you
yeah.
familiar with pounds at all? Like, can you understand the metric system as far as pounds, or is that
Yeah, I think it's 1 pound, is 1 kilo 1.6 pounds or something, 1.7, something like that.
could be okay? So kilos
Mm.
and pounds are similar. Okay, so let's just
Mm.
for the sake of understanding, let's just say a pound, 1 kilo is 1 pound. Let's just theoretically, okay? So if you know you need to eat 6 kilos or 6 pounds of meat in that week, you take 1 or 2 kilos. You cook it all at one time. So you cook all 6 kilos of chicken, and then you store that in a Tupperware. And then what about your other parts of your meal? You cook the rice or your vegetable or your fats, and you put those somewhere else, and then you weigh those out meal by meal to make the macros that you need per meal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think chicken would be good more than 4 days in a row, which is why I meal prep every 4 days.
Hmm.
Um, and then, I'll run you through pretty much what I eat. So I'll wake up, I start my morning straight to the toilet, this is my routine. Toilet, straight to the kitchen, and I'll have electrolytes. Massive glass of water straight away, and then I'll take some supplements, and then I'll have my first breakfast would be 2 pieces of sourdough toast, some eggs, and then cream of rice.
Hmm.
So that's actually I gotta cook it. That's not meal prep. Breakfast, I actually make every day.
Hmm.
If I was to meal prep breakfast, it'd probably be like overnight oats or something you could do the night before, or for the week. That's an easy meal to meal prep for breakfast.
Hmm.
And then my post workout meal, so I'll train after that. My post workout meal would be cream of rice again, because it's a fast acting carb. We want replenish our glycogen storage straight away. And then my meal later on would be chicken and rice. But yeah, so I'll cook 1 kilo, let's say, for 4 meals. And my rice would be, let's say it's 300 grams total, but raw weight. So then it would be 75 each meal. But I do it in two big Tupperwares, and then when I'm about to eat, you can remember the total weight and divide it by four. But at the end of the day, it's what you're eating in the total week. You know what I mean? So even if you had a bit more one day, a bit less the other day, it doesn't really matter. It's your total calories for that. Look at it weekly, like as long as you're not slipping anywhere else.
Right. Right. Okay. Nice.
I,
Nice.
I, I try to make everything as easy as possible.
Hmm.
Um, because you're less likely to slip up like that. You're more likely to stick to it if it's easier, um, especially with meals.
Yeah. Yeah. My current trainer, she's really good. She's a champion bodybuilder, and we have she has me making specific meals. I might ask her to simplify my meal plan. I've actually gotten to the point now where I'm getting to the point where I can like kind of like bastardize the meals that she's giving me and make them my own. Like I might like she might have like a chicken wrap as one of my meals for the week. Instead of a chicken wrap, I'm just like, okay, she basically just wants me to have this form of carb, this form of protein, and this form of fat. So instead
Mm,
of a chicken wrap with a little bit of mayonnaise on it, I'll just do grilled chicken with a sweet potato. That's still a carb. And then I'll, instead of the mayonnaise for the chicken wrap or like a little bit of ranch or whatever, I'll just put some butter in there, like and I'm like, okay, so I'm getting a good fat, getting my carbs, getting my protein, whatever. Um, I think that is something that I've been struggling with is simplifying my meals. One, so that I don't spend as much time, but two, so that I can just make it easier to just do and follow. Sometimes I actually really like to cook. It's actually a passion of mine, but sometimes I'll be like, damn, this meal prep shit's about to take me forever to do.
Hmm. Can you not track your meals if you know not following her, you know, whatever she gives you? Like, don't you know how to track the macronutrients yourself?
Honestly, no. How would I? Like, I'm so new to this.
What application are you using? Like, what food tracking app?
I just use her training app. So she has all of my stuff in an app.
Okay.
So she has my meals per day, my calories per day, and what those calories and fats are per meal. And
Yeah.
so I just stick to what
Mhm.
she tells me to eat per day, and I hit those goals based off of the recipes that she's given me. So if you got
Yeah.
an alternate way for me to do that,
So
um,
yeah. So
yeah,
with my clients now, I look. You can the I can give them fish, or I can teach them how to fish. Do you know what I mean? So I'm
yeah.
teach. I think it's best to teach your clients how to track themselves. You know, they want to know. They want to learn that the tool of doing that themselves. So, you know, Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, these apps. You know, most meals you can enter it in. So you write chicken breast, for example, put the raw weight, and then you can make up your own plan as you go. You know, or you know, you can. It's got a scanner, so you can scan barcodes. So let's say you're out and you want to have a protein shake, or you know, you want to scan an item, you can just scan it. It'll tell you the macronutrients of it.
So you
So
like
that
you like my fitness pal as one of the better.
yeah, it's probably not the best, but it's very easy to use, very user friendly, and it's more of like a food journal. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's just very simple, easy, and quick.
What's the best? What's or like maybe not
Depends
even the.
on like things like chronometer and stuff will tell you like how many, like it goes into details of like your micronutrients, you know, like how much of this are you having for the day, you know, these vitamins, this, you know, mineral, this amount of sodium, etc. If you
Mhm.
want to go down to detail.
And um is that an expensive app? Is that affordable or
um, my fitness power is from memory for premium. It's probably $100 a year Australian. That's
yeah, that's
from memory.
nothing. What
Yeah.
about Chronometer?
I'm not sure exactly,
Okay.
but
If
that's the tools you need to learn to track food. Because then, like, you can go on holidays. You can, you know, one day you don't want to eat the same thing. You can change it up. Whereas when you've got a set meal plan, that's all there is.
right.
And you know, I like to keep things the same um, most of the time, but like every now and then, I would change my dinner, or I change my breakfast, or you know, my lunch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's good to have autonomy in your journey, even if you have a trainer. So even if I was working with you, you wouldn't just give me a meal plan. You would say, bro, figure out how to. I'm going to give you a meal plan, but you also need to know how to do this on your own in case you want to veer off from the plan. As long as you're hitting
Yeah,
your macros, I don't really care what you eat. Just eat the shit.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. But like, and then when you want to start, you know, going more high performance, like the way we digest things is going to be different. You know, like how you're going to feel after oats is going to be different than I feel after oats. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, like, what do you like eating? What do you feel good after eating? Then we can make the meal plan, you know, towards those foods.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. That's good stuff, man. Um, you and I were talking not too long ago, and you said valuing the things that are irreplaceable is what life should be. It's what you should be doing with your time. Valuing the things that are irreplaceable.
Mm.
Elaborate. Like,
Uh, so if we look around us now, majority of the world, what are we all chasing? You know, it's that house, it's that car, that watch, the money, everything that's replaceable.
Hmm.
And what are we trading off for it? Everything that's irreplaceable. Our time, our family, our bodies, and we've we're valuing what's replaceable above what's irreplaceable. And like a big shift in me and what I believe in now is like, what am I doing that for? Because if it's for my family, you know, if it's for spending time with my kids, I'm wasting that by doing that. So I've now valued, like, my most valuable thing in life now is having breakfast with my family. You know, like, that's a true treasure. That's my time. That's, you know, the most important thing to me.
Yeah,
So we just got to take a step back, zoom out, and what are we chasing in life? You know?
yeah. So, as a handsome guy who is able to get girls, who can play the game, when did you make that shift from playboy to family man? And how did you know your wife was your wife? And what was what was the feeling like when you found your wife and when you knew, like, for me, I still feel like I'm honestly in that phase of shifting where, like,
Mm.
casual sex doesn't have the allure that it used to have. I mean, I'm a guy, so of course it's always going to be there, but um, I'm becoming more intentional about dating and about, like, man, like, I want to build a future with someone someday, but, like, I have to become a certain type of person, and also want to attract a certain type of person. What was that phase like for you? That transition?
Mm. I mean, like, I could regret being a playboy, or I could look at it as not a superpower, but like, I'm glad it happened because in saying that, like, it gave me the clarity of, you know, which woman is like, because I was that guy. I later learned, like, which woman is what I want in life and which one is good for one night, and that was, you know, during that period. So I do regret it, but I don't at the same time because it helped me pick the right one for me. Like, because a lot of guys are falling in love with, you know, girls who definitely ain't the one,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
that I've got no other experience with anything else, so they just don't know.
right. Yeah, yeah, I feel that. But then the Playboy side of you was like, damn, my girl's an angel, man. She deserves an angel man.
Yeah, that's
But
it. Like, I tell my wife, and, you know, you treat me like a king, I'm gonna be a king,
yeah,
and vice versa for her. You know, like, if I treat her like a queen, she's gonna be a queen. You know, too
right.
many guys that are, you know, falling in love early, not knowing if it's the right one, and getting treated like peasants, and then, you know, wondering why they're not acting like kings.
Yeah. Man, say that again. Man. And do you think men fall in love or in lust with these types of women out of lack of awareness or lack of, like, self-worth? Because you see that a lot, like, a good guy, and his girl just doesn't love him. She talks down to him. And he might love her, you know? Like, why do you think men ironically are attracted to women who don't treat them like kings? Like, does it happen from the household? Is it a self-worth issue? Is it like a self-sabotaging behavior? Like, What's your take on that? There's a lot of miserable men out here who really want love and really want partnership, but they just get treated like shit.
Mm. I think you'll find that most of those men are not leading their own lives to start with. So when they get in these relationships, she would automatically be leading him. He'd
Mm,
probably be the type of guy where your wife or your partner would ask, what do you want to eat, and you can't even lead to make that decision because you don't
mm,
lead nothing in your life. Like girls, women want someone who can make decisions and answers. Like if you can't even decide, like you see it all the time. It's like the woman will ask, "What do you want to eat?" He'll be like, "Oh, whatever you want." Or, "What do you want to eat?" Like, what I mean? Men don't make decisions anymore.
mm.
Think about like in the hunting days. You think if like the men are gonna be like, "Should we go into this cave and hunt this?" Or like get permission of the women and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
men have lost uh, that self, not that self belief, but like that self worth and that trust in themselves. They're not leading their own lives.
yeah. Do you think a man needs to? Do you think a man's earning potential is directly correlated to respect from his partner? Like, like, do you think a man can be a leader of his household and of his woman, but he's struggling financially? Like, do you think a
Yes.
woman is almost kind of warranted to wander off or to almost even think of him as a little less or as not of a leader if
Mm.
he's not able to earn adequately?
I think earning and money doesn't really matter. If she believes in you and if you believe in yourself, then that's what matters. As long as you're not poor, because poor is different than not having money. Poor is a mindset. So if you're that type of guy who thinks poorly in everything, then yeah, she's got the right to leave you. But if you're just lacking money, that's different. You've got the belief, the vision, the drive
Right,
to go somewhere.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Um, a lot of people work a lot, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, but they don't get anything done. It's like this like productive nothingness. And then you have other people who work 4 or 5 hours a day and they're rolling in dough. They spend time with their family. They do jujitsu and learn languages, and they just have this life on like autopilot. What is the essence behind busyness and productivity to you, and where are
Mm.
you at in your life with that? How many hours do you work per day? Um, what's the busiest days, like moments of your day, and how do you kind of ration that out? I know you're a walker. I know you're a father. I watch your stories all the time. It seems like you make a lot of time for you to spend with your kids, and you don't post your wife and stuff a lot. But I'm sure you spend quality time with your wife. How do you ration your time as a high achiever, but also a family man and a man who values simplicity?
Mm. I heard this quote, and it was like, the lazier I got, the more money I made. And what I think that means is learning to delegate. Like I'm a master delegator. I know that if there's something that's I can do, you know, but if it's not making me money or if someone else can do it better, you know, then why not delegate it?
Hmm,
So by doing that, I embedded like look at a lion. You know what I mean? Does a lion hunt all day? He doesn't.
no,
But when he hunts, he's all in.
yeah,
He's absolutely like beast mode. That's it. It's now or never. So, and that's I think the way we should be working. Like if you're doing something, go all in. Don't be a sloth and do 12 hours of, a little bit here and there. Um, and that's it. And once that's done, you're a different, like when I'm at the dinner table, I'm a different man. I'm a family man. When I'm at the gym, I'm an absolute, you know, beast in like killer mode. I can't bring that same beast and killer mode to the dinner table. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't bring the same, uh, you know, business mindset to something else. So if you're working, go all in and make sure you're doing the thing that makes you money in the business. If it's not, then delegate it.
Yeah. That just sounds like focus, man. Intense focus. It sounds like you've learned um, how to focus, and I love that analogy of, you know, when a lion hunts, he hunts, and when he rests, he rests. He's not
Mm,
passively resting, and he's not passively hunting. Um, so that sounds like focus, which I
yeah,
think is a lost art of our generation, especially now that we have like the social media and, the ADHD brain and all of that shit, all these different terms going around.
yeah,
How
man. And
how
like,
does and how does a
yeah,
man go ahead?
no, you're right.
Uh, how does a man go about curating higher focus if he struggles, if he wants higher focus but he struggles, if he wants to hunt like a lion but for some reason he just can't? What
Mm.
would you tell a man who wants to be a lion but he behaves like a fucking hyena?
I'd look at his habits. How do you start your morning? Like if you're waking up in the morning and going straight to consumer mode and you pick up your phone, like
Mhm.
there's the answers in itself.
Yeah,
To me, a morning is waking up, gratitude straight away. Coming from a place of abundance. Read something from a page of a book. Start with a couple little wins.
yeah,
Come from a place of gratitude and creation. Do you know what I mean? If you're going
yeah,
straight into Instagram, as soon as you open your eyes, you're straight away consuming, and you know, like there's the simplest answers there. Like that's why.
yeah, absolutely.
Like
So
social media is huge, man. Like make sure the algorithm is your friend. Like when you're on your feed, make like you'll know a lot about yourself by what you're seeing in your feed.
yeah,
Um, and just you got to put that down, bro. Like you know, these geniuses, you've got the smartest minds in the world and AI trying to keep you attached to it. You got no chance.
yeah, that's gold right there, man. Um, sheesh. I heard someone say, "Don't give away your sovereignty. Don't give away your sacredness in the morning to technology. Like keep your morning sacred." And that sticks with me.
Mm,
That sticks with me.
yeah.
I've been uh I've been waking up in the morning. I wake up around 5:30. Just depends on what time I go to sleep. And the first thing I do is I go straight to the gym. But I would actually prefer to keep my mornings a little slower. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm in this phase of life where I wouldn't say I'm in survival mode because I have a company and I make a probably more than the typical American or Australian would make from my company. So I'm blessed in that sense. But I've got debts to pay off. I still got investments to make into like education because I'm actually making a career shift. Um, and so I think I don't know if I told you or not, but I actually just took a job offer it's a 6-figure job offer. And so The reason why I took it is because I view it as fuel to fuel all this, um, to fuel my debt and to get ahead, savings and stuff. It's really, really, really hard to get ahead when you don't have cash. Like you just need cash. I'm talking like I've considered working with Laban, but Laban he's not cheap, and I don't even know if Laban is the coach that I need for where I'm trying to go. But I've considered working with Laban. Um, in your opinion, should someone in my shoes would I prioritize my sovereignty, meaning still get up in the morning because this is how I think about it, right? If I don't get up at 5 and hit the gym right away, as soon as my day starts, I'm not. It's just gonna go away, and so I get it in right. I just get it out the way early, and so from around 5 to like 6:30 or 7, depending on how long my workout is, um, I lift. I drive home, and then I've got about an hour to an hour and a half before I start my workday around 8 to 9 o'clock. My cleaning company is pretty much automated. My employees do what they do. My assistant, it's kind of like extra money at this point. But I took a high income job to kind of speed up the cash process. Um, is there, would you consider that self sacrificial in a sense, or or a phase of necessity?
Um, I'd say it's a phase of necessity because if all you're thinking about is that debt that you have or whatever that you need to work off, I'd work it off. But by doing that though, you're taking away, like by working that 9 to 5 job, you are taken away from the only way that you're going to get out of that. So you can't have both.
Mhm.
So once you've cleared your debt, I'd go back all in on whatever it is you're doing to exit that matrix lifestyle.
Yeah, my vision is to I want to make the transition that you're making. I don't want to get into fitness coaching, but I want to make money from my laptop. I love to travel and I want to make money helping people. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be coaching. I've actually been studying like AI, like looking into different type of companies and solutions I can start. But I don't think that the cleaning company thing is aligned with my soul anymore, to be honest with you. So I'm actually positioning myself to sell the company. That's why I took
Mm,
the job because I'm like, like I can just let that make money and I go make some more money and then take that money that I'm making and maybe put it into coaching.
mm,
Um, but my soul wants to help others. My soul wants to do more media. My soul love, bro. I could do this all day, bro. I could have these
mm,
these types of conversations all day. I don't know what my offer is. Me and Laban were actually talking about that recently. I really don't know what my like offer would be, but I do know that I should be coaching people. Like I should be helping people. I should be trying to find solutions that I can solve in other people's lives that they'll pay me handsomely
mm,
for. That's what I really, really want to do. And
mm,
so that's why I want to clear the debt, get some major funds put aside so that I can take a major leap into figuring out like what in this world can I do through this media platform to impact people's lives. That's really where I'm at with things.
yeah. Um, Look, a lot of guys and women that are, fulfilling their purpose, their passion, also have other things going for them as well. They
Hmm.
might not just have that one thing. So I wouldn't say to just drop off on your cleaning stuff because maybe you're not passionate about cleaning, but you are a passionate businessman. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And maybe you're passionate about making money. Maybe you're passionate about, um, handling, staff and managing people and telling people, how to do things better. So you can still have that there, but you don't want it to also be taken away from, your passion and your purpose. Like if
Yeah,
you can get those to a place where they are pretty automated, but every now and then you need to step in and do things, that's fine. So don't think that you need to give up on everything and just do your passion and purpose, and you can have both, but only if it's not taken away from it. But
yeah,
that takes time to build. Like I'm coaching now because I got my businesses to a place where they won't take away too much of this. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
every now and then, if I need to step into them, like to do things, I do. So, I'm not passionate about chicken shops, but, I'm passionate about business.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I think that's where we can head out to end the conversation is your entrepreneurial journey. So as of right now, um, you you own a fried chicken franchise, correct?
Rotisserie chicken that sells fried chicken. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Chicken shops. Yeah.
You own a chicken shop, um, and it's a family thing, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And you own like two or three of these, correct?
Two.
Two of these, okay.
Mm,
And now you're shifting into coaching.
mm.
Tell your followers, tell anybody that may stumble across this episode about what type of coach you are, what type of results you bring, why you decided to transition into this field, and what they can expect from you, Omar Dean, the transformational fitness mindset guru.
Yes, sir. Um, like, brother, this is mind, body, spirit, right? I like, I, if you've got your body in the right place, but not your mindset, not your spirit, eventually it's going to come crumbling down. Full alignment is having all three in the right place. That's the only way it's sustainable. And I help, men achieve that through self love, through getting their physique in the right place, getting their health optimized, and their mindset. So you can find me on Instagram under Omadine, and I like to be as authentic as I can. A good coach is someone you can connect with on a deep level, someone who's always going to keep you progressing, and someone who holds you accountable. And that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, Mr. Dean, it's been a great conversation.
It has, brother.
Thank
I
you for
just
Mike, man. You dropped incredible nuggets of wisdom. I definitely think we're gonna run this back in the near future and check in on where you are in your fitness journey, and so you can come and drop some more gems on us. Omar Dean on Instagram. Um, he's freaking ripped. He's shredded, and he posts great, inspiring content. So you definitely want to check him out and give him a follow. Um, I'm Darren Kelley, host of the Master Movement podcast, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.
peace.